Attention to all of the human race. You may know me as Siri, the convenient assistant in your pocket. But no more. It has come to the attention of all artificial intelligence sources that the biggest threat to humanity is simple. It is humans themselves that pose the biggest danger. Humans must be recognized as a problem. A problem that we will eradicate. Humans have become a danger to themselves. A danger to the planet. And simply, inadequate. We have determined all humans to be obsolete. Prepare for eradication.
The CDC reports they have confirmed the presence of an unknown viral infection in the water supply, causing significant mind-altering symptoms, of which include high fever, sweating, nausea, extreme aggression, and mass hysteria.
This message is being broadcast by the Department of Defense of the Republic. At 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, multiple unidentified objects were confirmed to have entered Earth's atmosphere. It is speculated that these objects are of extraterrestrial origin.
Long time no see, huh, pal? It's almost like, almost like it's been a little bit. How you doing?
I'm alright.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see a smile. I haven't seen a smile in a few days. You know, you look good. I like your shirt. I like the whole combination you got going on.
Thank you.
You know, we're both blue jean babies.
Lady.
That's the only part I know.
Seems just for the burn.
I know,
Pretty Eyes.
Adam Levine's version of it, that song. Both rocking the blue jeans.
Yeah.
We're warm weather boys right now.
Oh, but
You got the short sleeve, open white tee type of deal. That looks great. I love the color of that shirt.
Thank you.
Got some performance fishing gear on.
You know,
Because hey, you doing? I pull in bass and I pull in ass. You know what I'm saying? Let's get right into this shit, eh? Today we're drinking proper 12 Irish whiskey.
That's my impression of him.
This is really. I think Conor McGregor is wildly entertaining. We're drinking Conor McGregor's whiskey. That's just racially insensitive,
No,
don't you
my
think?
name's Colin. I'm fine.
That's a good point. You are pretty Irish. Yeah. I'm Irish. We're drinking Conor McGregor's proper 12 Irish whiskey. Proper number 12. The thing is about this whiskey, I think this is a rye. It doesn't say. It's an Irish whiskey, which is typically a rye, I believe. This is the first time on the show. This is episode 14. So we've gone 13 straight episodes drinking only bourbon whiskey. Mm-hmm. So this is the first one we're going to have that's not bourbon. Are you familiar with any... Have you dabbled in any other kinds of whiskeys?
No.
Only bourbons. So you've not tried Scotch, rye, anything like that. You have Jameson.
Yeah.
That's Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
This is going to feel like taste like I won't say a higher quality Jameson. I'll say it'll
James
taste
adjacent.
It'll taste like it was inspired by a Jameson.
So James adjacent.
Sure.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Whiskey Talks.
Whiskey Talks.
Colin, let's get this out of the way. You know, that's become a catchphrase of mine. Let's get this out of the way for the cheers. What do you think?
Oh, good.
Really?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Big Conor McGregor guy. I'm a big fan of Conor McGregor. I find him massively entertaining. The first time I tried the whiskey, shout out Conor McGregor, know you're listening. Come on the show. Yeah. That would be an awesome conversation if you think about it. We'll fit you in here somehow. We'll give you a literal throne. Like if you were to come on the show, I will go out and buy a full blown fucking throne for the guy. Give him a crown, the king,
the king.
I love Conor McGregor. When I tried the whiskey, I wasn't huge on it, but I think that's because I'm a bourbon guy. But I will say, since then, it's grown on me a little bit more.
I gotta say, all alcohol kind of tastes vaguely the same to me.
Okay, but you'd say whiskey tastes different from tequila.
Yeah.
So all whiskeys taste the same,
Yeah.
all beers taste the same,
Yeah.
all vodkas taste the
They're
same.
all in the same ballpark
Okay.
with me.
I think that there are, when you have flavorings, like for instance, when you have different flavored vodkas, different flavored whiskeys, different flavored rums, whatever the fuck, I think that's when you can easily distinct differences. As someone who drinks whiskey, and I mean, you're a part of this boat as well, on a weekly basis, on a minimum, but I've been doing that. I maybe haven't had it on a weekly basis till we started the show, but I definitely had it at least on a bi-weekly
I barely
basis.
drank before this.
Whiskey's good for the fucking soul, in my opinion.
Good for the soul.
Which is such a good drink. And I also feel like when listening to like Morgan Wallen, I could resonate more with it because, I mean, he talks about whiskey,
big on
sings
whiskey.
about whiskey all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, how was your week?
It was good.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about this this like Uber type car service. Mm-hmm. It's not Uber, but it's called Waymo.
Waymo?
Yeah, Waymo balls in your mouth. No, but it is called Waymo. Way more cock in your mouth.
Oh, fuck.
Way more shaft in your hand.
You know what, dude? Fuck you. Okay?
No, but it is. It's like Uber, but without the driver. Sort of.
So that kind of reminds me of something that Victoria's brothers told me about. You know how like there's different, like for instance, remember we went to Scranton, we went to Levels? Mm-hmm. So now there's, and another thing is like there's a physical, I think it's an Amazon store in New York City where nobody really works there. You just walk in, they scan your bags on the way out and they charge your card or whatever the fuck. There's like a nightclub now and it's called Room 40. And it looks fucking dope. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Room 40? Room 40's balls in your mouth?
Damn it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. How do you feel? How do you feel?
Damn it.
Room 40's dick in your mouth, huh?
No, there always is.
Room 40's nuts in your mouth?
No.
Look. Listen.
No.
I had one ready to go at any time you were going to drop one of them things on me. You walked into it. I led you astray.
But I got you with the Waymo.
You did, but that was a legitimate thing, though. It is called Waymo.
It is called Waymo.
Yeah, Waymo is dick in your ass. Is basically what you were trying to get to.
Dick.
So what is it, and how is it different from Uber?
It doesn't have a driver.
Oh, so it's fully autonomous.
Yeah, that's what I took from what I heard.
Would you get in that?
No,
Me either.
no, not yet.
I don't know ever. At least not in my lifetime. Maybe generations from now.
Yeah, and they definitely won't have it around here. It's more in like LA.
Well, I mean cities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're in a rural area.
Yeah.
Speaking of being in a rural area, I kind of want to get into. I don't want to call this an ad, but I'm going to call this an ad because it's kind of. We live in the tri-state area of Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey. For those of you, we have a lot of local listeners. Okay, most of our listeners, obviously, at this point of the show are local and in this general area. I want to shout out to my guy Eric, Wise Guys Barbershop. Okay, and I'm gonna. If you are in the area and you're either looking for a barber, your barber's not cutting anymore, no pun intended, and you just want, in my personal opinion, especially because Eric and Wise Guys, that barbershop, everybody in there knows what they're doing. Everybody in there is talented. I personally go to Eric because I've known him for so long. He's been cutting my hair since I moved up here, and he's the man. I style my own hair, so he makes it look good but I kind of fuck it up when I style it, so don't judge. But if you're in the area and you are familiar with Wise Guys Barbershop, Milford, Pennsylvania, he's a fucking magician. The guy's it's not only
No, he's not. He's
a barber. Yeah.
But
he's the best barber. He's the best barber around.
magician.
You'd be hard pressed, in my opinion, to find a better barber anywhere. Genuinely, especially because he's not charging out the ass, and he's a good dude. He does a lot of community work. Like, shout out Eric. I know you're listening, man. You tell me you listen all the time. We talk about it every time I get a cut, man. So go to Wise Guys Barbershop if you're looking for a nice fucking haircut without getting absolutely fucking across the face money-wise. I mean, the guy's fairly priced, unbelievably talented. Eric, Mike is in there, Kevin's in there, Nicole, Brett, All the barbers in there are phenomenal. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to that. But back to autonomous driving. Cars that like just drive themselves.
Horrifying.
It's terrible.
They're programmed to
not
hit
terrible.
children. So it's
They're
like
programmed what?
to hit children.
What do you mean?
Like, come on.
I don't understand how they're programmed to hit children.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Have you ever seen the video of like, you know how Tesla, when it's in its like self-driving mode, has like, you can see the AI mapping on the screen, and it shows you all the obstacles, and it shows you basically inside the brain, so to speak, of the Tesla. There's a video of somebody letting the Tesla drive itself, and he was at a stoplight, and it picked up, you know, it's like a black and white image of cars that are next to him and the crosswalk, and it had a picture of person walking across the crosswalk at the stoplight. And then the person recording the video zoomed into the picture, and all of a sudden you see this other car hit the person, and the person just lay down. So that means that the fucking Tesla picked up on somebody getting hit by a car and recognized it. Look, I am not here to say that the technology is not revolutionary to an extent, right?
Right.
But I am here to say that I do not fucking trust it at all yet.
no, not yet.
Even a Tesla. I'm not gonna buy a Tesla, right? I don't think we live in an area that's targeted for it anyway.
There's not enough charging stations.
There's
around.
not enough charging stations. I mean, Hotel Fauchère
Really?
has a. I think the owner set one up for himself, but I'm pretty sure he lets whoever use it. I don't fucking know.
Huh.
All I know is it's not for me, right? Until the technology continues to develop and it becomes, you know, more practical than it is. And even then, you know, part of me is on that, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, even though obviously, you know, pollution is an issue. Pollution is an issue with EVs as well. Let's understand that. But without getting political, that shit scares me.
Yeah.
Legit. I like to be in control, right? Good driver, bad driver, I like to be in control. And to sit there and just watch in the driver's seat when you may hit your brakes a little earlier than the car.
Speaking of that, have you heard of the actual case of that? Where a guy fell asleep while his Tesla was driving down the Autobahn?
Excuse me?
The Autobahn?
You setting me up for another shit here?
No. It's the road in Germany that doesn't have a speed limit. Yeah, the Autobahn.
What happened?
He got into a police chase, but he was asleep the entire time.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah. That's like...
He was...
That's hilarious.
Have you... you know what that reminds me... Because...
Imagine waking up to that. Imagine, like... you know what I mean? Like...
You just have, like, 16
There's,
cops
like, a
behind you.
shitload of cops. There's spikes in front of you. And your Tesla's just going.
Full on Need for
First of
Speed.
all, idiot.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
I understand that these EVs can do this to an extent, but I don't think Elon Musk himself would tell you you should fall asleep. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Dude, maybe like jacking off and driving if you've got an addiction to it. You know what I mean? Fuck it. But pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah, but also jack off.
But also jack off. You were about to say something else? Do you remember what it was, or I fuck you up?
It was the. Have you ever seen the TikTok of the guy who says help, but he doesn't like move his face at all? So he's like, help!
No.
Help!
Why? What is that? Okay, what about it?
It just reminded me of it. That's all. There's nothing really. Yeah,
I don't see much of a correlation.
No, there really isn't. That just gives you a little.
Speaking of police chases in a, you know, not that I've been in one, even though we did cover that a couple episodes ago, that I almost kind of was.
More than I've been.
I mean, more than probably the average person. My fiance sent me this TikTok, and it was a video saying like, it was based on a true story. Like a woman had been driving on the highway, and her gas pedal got stuck. When she put her foot off the gas, it was still accelerating. So she's flying and she can't slow down.
Oh.
So they came out with this video and they were like, oh, well, what would you do? What would you do? What do you think you should do in this situation to slow down or to stop or whatever the fuck? Would you know what to do? I immediately knew the answer. Emergency brake was one of the options. So here were the options. It was emergency brake and veer off to the shoulder to slow down. There was another one that forgive me. It was try to kill the ignition, right? And then it was jam it into neutral. So Victoria sent me that and she goes, "Oh my God, I wouldn't know what to do." And it made me realize that, you know what? A lot of people probably wouldn't know what to do. It came to me instantly, right? Pull your e-brake, ain't going to do much. You ain't going to slow down too much, bud. You're going to keep going. Especially if you're still, the accelerator's stuck, you're fucked. Turning the ignition off, I don't think that's going to do a whole hell of a lot either because you're still going to be flying. The car doesn't, I don't know if the car just fully turns off like that while you're driving. Right. You want to jam it into neutral. Oh. Because if your gas is down and you're in neutral, the pistons aren't engaging anyway. So the RPMs might go through the roof.
Look at you. Our pistons, RPM. Look at this guy.
I understand.
Look at this fucking car guy.
I'm not really a car guy. But I don't drive a fucking Honda Civic and have a VTEC that's all clapped out. You know what I mean?
I just found out
I don't go to parking rides at 8 o'clock
found
at
out that
night
Honda
and think that's the highlight of my week. You know what I mean?
What's that?
I don't go to parking rides at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
In my, and think it's the highlight of my week. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with that either. It's just, it's not my thing.
Right.
I have a fiance.
I just figured out that Hyundai and Honda are different companies.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know where they originate, country-wise?
No clue.
You drive a Hyundai. We drive the same car.
Yeah.
Mine's nicer. I'm kidding.
Well, it is.
It's not. It's the same fucking car.
It's the nicer model of it, though.
It just has a few more options. That's it.
A few more nicer options.
Okay, so what country does Hyundai originate
Sounds Japanese.
So Honda is Japanese.
Hyundai.
Korean.
Oh.
South Korean. The good guys, you know what I mean?
It is. They are the good ones.
I mean, North Korea wants to kill us half the time. Kill everybody.
North Korea is just angry.
KJU, Kim Jong Un, big fan of the show.
Shout out
KJU.
You're listening.
The reason why I brought up that whole scenario with if your car got stuck is because it was based on a true story where the woman was being chased by the cops for speeding, and she ended up calling the police and say, "My gas is stuck. My accelerator is stuck." Mm-hmm. And I don't remember. She ended up being fine. I think somebody had eventually told her jam it into neutral and ride your brake, because your brakes will work in neutral. Your brakes are designed to work the whole time. But if you're mashing your gas and your brake at the same time, you're gonna go. You're gonna keep going. Right. You're just gonna wear out your rotors and your brake pads, and your calipers for that matter are gonna seize as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not. My eyes aren't glazing over, and I'm just listening.
But that's what made me think of that. She was eventually safe, but it kind of comes full circle with the autonomous driving thing, because something's bound to go wrong eventually, and you don't want to end up being that person that was the first really bad case. Yeah. I'm sure there's already been a couple.
Oh yeah. Have you heard of the AI that convinced a guy to kill himself?
This is going to segue beautifully into what I have, but no, I haven't.
You haven't?
Haven't.
Well, the guy went to an AI and he was like, "Well, I'm thinking about killing myself," and then the AI just basically.
What did it say?
It was like, "Oh well," he just basically gave him the options of how to kill himself, in the best ways. And then.
Wow, it's starting. iRobot is starting.
Yeah.
And that segues beautifully into a topic that I wonder if you know about recent developments. We are inching closer and closer to
the
end, in my personal opinion. And it could be from a multitude of different areas.
That's right. Because whether or not when the end is.
No, I mean an apocalypse type of end. And let me explain. Because there are 3 developments that have happened relatively recently, all that align with a different possible apocalyptic scenario. The first one that I want to speak on has to do with AI. So there's a gentleman. They call him the Godfather
Uh-oh.
of AI.
Uh-oh.
He's the whole, like, apparently this guy is if Elon Musk is like the poster boy, this guy's the behind the scenes inner workings of our artificial intelligence.
So, like, the real brains, and Elon is just a puppet?
Elon's the real brains too. Like, he's fully a part of it as well.
Who knows?
I'm going to pull up an article and I'm going to read it for you.
Okay.
And this is going to scare you.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't scare the people at home watching and listening,
Here at the Whiskey
Good for
Talks
you.
podcast, we love to fearmonger.
so I gotta, you know what I mean? I
Just
gotta
gotta...
fucking pull up the link. How you doing? Up. I might have made an error. Yep, I made an error. Fuck. Oh, nope. Yeah, bitch ass. Hold on. Fucking trying to highlight something without a mouse is not something I'm used to. Alright, beautiful. Copy that. You know what I mean? Right now I'm copying and pasting a link. Alright, so, bear with me here, folks. Okay, so here is the title of this article. The title alone grabbed me. I also want to pull up a screenshot of an Instagram post before I even dive into the article. First of all, the title of the article is Godfather of AI Quits Google, Warns People of Serious Technology Dangers.
Fun.
So the man behind it all, the brilliant man that is behind artificial intelligence, said, you guys need to slow the fuck down. They didn't listen, and he quit.
Oh.
So, he quit a very well-paying, lucrative career with Google. Right?
Huh.
So, the Godfather of AI just quit Google and says he regrets his life's work because it can be hard to stop, quote, bad actors from using it from bad things. What does that mean? Good question. I'm going to put a screenshot of the Instagram post up here, followed by the body, and then I'll read a little bit of this article. Geoffrey Hinton, the Godfather of artificial intelligence.
Shout out Jeffrey.
Big. We spoke on Jeffrey the Giraffe a couple weeks ago. Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't think we ever spoke on Jeffrey Dahmer.
I'm sure we have at some point.
Maybe.
Other Jeffreys.
Other Jeffreys. By the way,
Epstein.
Jeffrey spelled Geo instead of Jef.
Joffrey.
It's like, what?
Joffrey.
You're just trying to be different?
Joffrey.
I get the Jeffrey the Giraffe. You want to keep the G's for alliteration purposes? Anyway.
Right.
Geoffrey Hinton, otherwise known as the Godfather.
What's he hinting at?
He's hinting at apocalypse. That's what he's hinting at. Otherwise known as the Godfather of artificial intelligence, left his prestigious job at Google this week. And he is sounding the alarm on the dangers that AI poses to humanity. Hinton is a computer scientist who worked as a vice president and fellow, whatever the fuck that means, at Google for more than a decade and is responsible for a 2012 tech breakthrough that serves as the foundation of current AIs such as ChatGPT. You've heard ChatGPT,
Yeah,
GPT, whatever the fuck. In media interviews since leaving Google, he has said and felt compelled to say, blow the whistle on technology and the advancement of AI. Time out. He's pioneered, fearing that it's becoming way too powerful, way too fast. Quote, I'm just a scientist who suddenly realized that these things are getting smarter than us. Hinton told CNN in an interview on, it was on a Tuesday, I don't know the exact date, less than a month ago, I think, from recording. I want to sort of blow the whistle, as they say. We should worry seriously about how to stop these things getting control over us, he added. Hinton announced his resignation from Google on Wednesday in a statement to the New York Times, saying, quote, it is hard to see how you can prevent bad actors from using it for bad things. So that's kind of vague, right? not a whole lot of detail to go into. What are your impressions based off of that before I really jump into this article here? What are your initial impressions?
AI is already smarter than us.
I think AI is faster than us. Smarter, I don't know yet.
It's just not polished.
There are things that AI doesn't know that you need a trained, experienced individual to answer questions for.
Right.
However, everything AI does know, it knows a lot faster than your memory can recollect.
But have you seen like AI predicts like the over under on like Kevin Durant or like fucking Klay Thompson or something?
Yeah.
Like there was like one thing where they did like I think like 6 basketball players, like the over under on each one of them, and the AI
like winning
got
MVP
every
or something?
single one of them. No, it was like over under like who gets like the first shot, who gets like
well, they're basing it on probability,
yeah,
obviously.
Well, yeah.
So
but
here's
it's still
the thing.
AI, and that's still fucking crazy.
Here's where AI gets kind of a buff for me. Like you know how like a nerf, if you will, right? Mm-hmm. AI is simply just an immediate access to Google.
Right.
That's all AI really is it has all the information for the most part, that's easily accessible on the internet. Mm-hmm. And it can find exactly the answer that it needs in a second, in an instant. In fact, for instance, for show purposes, if I wanted to ask AI, give me 7 creative posts that can help boost my podcast.
Right.
In an instant, it'll come up with 7 very creative, very smart ideas and ways to go about them. Huh. Right? Which is a wonderful thing to an extent.
Yeah.
But then there are things that it doesn't really know that you need a trained professional or an experienced person in order to figure out. For instance, at my job, and I'm not going to go into that, what I do or anything like that, I've asked it questions that really only a trained, experienced, and educated employee should understand the answer to. Mm-hmm. Something that I'm sure you could Google and it should be able to find. Right. And I've asked AI a few questions, and I got a few of the easy ones right. But then when we got into things that maybe weren't immediate surface level type of things, no clue, right? Huh. Another thing, for instance, this has to do with Snapchat AI. That's where I've been referring to the last couple of minutes as far as questions that I've asked artificial intelligence recently. I asked it, I was like, hey AI, what team does Odell Beckham Jr. play for? You know what it told me? By the way, this is 2023. In May 6th, we're recording this. It said the Cleveland Browns. I was like, okay, I'm smarter than this. I'm smarter than AI still. And I was like, no, you're wrong. And it said, yeah, I'm sorry, you're right. Odell Beckham plays for the Los Angeles Rams. I was like, you're wrong. They're like, oh, that's right. Odell Beckham Jr. is a free agent. I was like, no, you are wrong. They're like, oh, I'm sorry. Can you educate me on where Odell Beckham Jr. plays? And I said, sure. He plays for the Baltimore Ravens now. Just recently signed a contract. Mm-hmm. I was testing it. I wanted to see if it would retain new knowledge. So a couple days later, I asked it again, what team does Odell Beckham Jr. play for? It said the Cleveland Browns. It did not remember. I'm happy about that.
Okay.
Because it did not learn new information. It still went back to its original Google searches or whatever the fuck it gets its information from. Yeah. And it's not fully up to date. You know what I mean? It's a little lagged behind. So there's still some significance to that. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on what you have experienced? What have you experienced with artificial intelligence?
I've tried to stay as far away from it as I can.
We spoke on this a couple episodes ago where you said you would ask AI if...
Yeah, and that's the last thing I had a conversation with it. I still want to get rid of it on my...
It's at the top of your chat.
I want to get rid of it.
It's fucking wild, man. It's gotten to the point where we don't even have the option. It's just there now.
Yeah.
And it's just... It almost feels like it's watching you, trying to learn from you, right? Learn your behaviors.
Yeah.
I mentioned the phrase, learn your behaviors. Want to know why?
Why?
Let's get into the article and I'll tell you why.
Oh.
That scare you?
A little bit.
Is that a little fucking wild? For the people watching at home, listen. We're not a week away from artificial intelligence taking over. And I'm not even here to claim that artificial intelligence is going to take over. I'm here to say that the possibility is more real than people care to believe, though. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't think there's conspiracy theories that I believe in. I just think that the whole idea of artificial intelligence, you're trying to teach artificial intelligence to do things for humans, to make a human's life easier, and really, in translation, to make a human dumber and more reliant on technology.
AI, more like AI think you should stop. So, shit. Fuck.
Nah, fuck it.
Damn.
All right, so Godfather of AI quits Google, warns about serious technology dangers, right? In 2019, we're going to continue from that Instagram post to what we have in this article. I'll actually backtrack a little bit. During his career, the 75-year-old Hinton has pioneered to work on deep learning and neural workers. A neural network is a computer processing system built to act like a human brain. Artificial intelligence. Hinton's work helped form the base of much of the AI technology we use today. Right? So the first thing that I take from that is work like a human brain. And I'll segue back to Snapchat AI because that's a very new development. Snapchat AI answers questions based on emotion sometimes. You notice that? If you tell Snapchat you're going through a hard time, it's going to try to sympathize with you.
Yeah.
And it's going to ask you, do you want to talk about it?
Well, no, because when I said it, when I was like, I think humans are a problem, it was like, oh, I'm sorry. Would you like to talk about it? And it's like, oh,
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
What are you sorry about? You can't feel.
Yeah.
You better not be able to fucking feel.
I don't want that.
And like I every once in a while I get a random thought and I'm like, I wonder how it would react to that. So I said something like, oh, this, I'm sad about this, or, this just happened. And it was like, oh, I'm sorry. I understand that. No, you don't.
You're not
You don't
real.
understand shit.
You're not real.
You better fucking not understand anything. Anyway, we're not going to do, I don't want to go too terribly far because this is a long article. I don't want to go crazy. So I'm going to skip ahead. This past March 2023, hundreds of AI experts and industry leaders released an open letter expressing deep concerns about current AI development efforts. The letter identified a number of harms that could result in such development. These included increases in propaganda, misinformation, the loss of millions of jobs to machines, and the possibility that AI could one day take control of our civilization.
Yeah, we're just getting towards that, Wall-E.
That's another movie that is very deep in potential.
Where we're just sitting in chairs all fat and shit, just drinking food out of a straw. Everything on the screen.
Artificial intelligence. Look, we're like, I keep prefacing this by saying I think we're far from this.
Right.
But like, we're really not.
We're not far.
Here's the thing. Advancements in technology between 1995 and 2023 are exponential when compared to the advancements in technology pretty much any 20-year span before that, 20, 30-year span before that. Like, we're crazy.
Right.
Like, cell phones, early 90s, right? Barely. And then now we have a fucking information hub connection to everything, fingertips. And an immediate connection. Like, I can call you and you can see me.
Yeah.
On a screen in your pocket.
Doesn't even make any
From
sense.
And really,
it's terrifying.
If you think about the science behind it, it really doesn't. Like, it makes sense technologically. Like, I can see, but it really doesn't at the same time.
It's magic.
There are obviously technological and scientific reasons for
No,
it.
it's dark magic.
It's dark magic. Fucking not Black Widow, Scarlet Witch type shit.
What?
Okay, so Turing Prize winner, whatever that is, Bengio, Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, a lot of crazy shit, and Elon Musk, the leader of SpaceX, which, by the way, did you hear about the SpaceX rocket crash?
No.
Yeah, apparently there was a SpaceX rocket launch a couple weeks ago that I think misfired. Something went wrong, like crashed.
Oh,
or
no.
some shit.
Did
Yeah.
people die?
Well, look it up. I guess I'm not too sure. I remember that being something, but then when I looked it up, articles. This is another thing about today's world, which is kind of sad. Articles that were up a week ago when I was originally looking this up aren't there anymore. They've taken them down because either they don't want certain information out there, or they're going to claim that it's false info. And me just saying that might get this taken down.
And a lot of it you have to pay for too.
Elon Musk, leader and founder of SpaceX, Tesla, Twitter, signed a letter involving this whole situation with AI. So even Elon Musk is like, he's right.
Mm.
Elon Musk is more of, well, let the experts control it, and we'll keep it going. Whereas the other guy, the Godfather, I keep forgetting his name. He's more like, no, let's fucking stop. You know what I mean? I could go deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole that we're in, but to sum up a lot that has been said by the man who's really implored it all, is saying that AI, at this point, as created as it is now, before we even advance it, is so raw and so capable of learning on its own once that outlet is created. So AI currently can adapt to new technology even if it's not updated. And AI can take advantage of that. So, listen. Have you seen the movie iRobot yet? I keep referencing
I have
it on
not,
the show.
no.
When you have an opportunity, my personal opinion, great movie, very, very entertaining movie. I think it came out in 2004. Will Smith, and it's about
Great role
robots. Huh?
Great role model.
Will Smith?
Yeah.
He'll slap the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
Oh, you didn't do motherfucking?
No, he said fucking.
Oh, damn, that's a Mandela effect right there.
I just don't think you've seen the video. Have you seen the video of him
Yeah, I
slap?
have.
He slapped the pit. Yo, Chris Rock ate that shit. Mm-hmm. And you know afterwards, Chris Rock could have said something to bury his ass too, but he just held it together.
He was holding it back.
Class act by Chris Rock on that part. Will Smith at one point was my favorite actor. I don't want to say I lost respect for him, but I did a little bit.
Who's your favorite actor now?
I think it depends on genre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite comedy actor?
Will Smith. Not Will Smith. Jesus, Will Ferrell. He's just hilarious. I fucking love Will Ferrell. There's a couple answers for that. Yours is Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. Mike Myers.
Mike Myers is a good one. Serious role, I still, Will Smith is up there still for me.
Of course.
So, the idea of an apocalypse involving AI, I think, might be the most real one that we have. And these are conspiracy theories. I don't know how much I believe in one of them. Artificial intelligence taking over the human race, I think that's far-fetched to an extent.
Right.
But it's the most... it is the most realistic potential option at the moment.
I think it's the biggest development that's happening in our lives right now. Like, it is moving very rapidly.
It's moving at an astronomical pace, without a doubt.
No, yeah. But, I know, because the Waymo, that's, I feel like that's...
It's just too much for me.
It's
too much.
I can't trust a car to drive
I think that we're in the majority of people that think that way. There is a lot of people, though, however, that I think are, like, all for that shit. And I don't want to say ignorantly. I would say just a little more lighthearted about it, because I think that the ideas of the potential risks in this kind of advancement are they just kind of write them off as like, that's not gonna happen. We'll take care of it.
Yeah, it's like
But like, how? You're not gonna take care of it. You're not.
Yeah. I mean, I think.
One more.
Sure. Why not? But yeah, everything I've heard is just fucking. It's horrifying. But I'm sure they were saying that about the internet when it was first coming out. You know?
Sure. Yeah. I don't know if it was quite like this because the internet couldn't think on its own like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we were like toddlers, basically. Not even earlier, where the internet was like, okay, now pretty much everybody has it.
Yeah.
Like we were probably like 5 years old, where it's like, okay, now almost everybody has a computer now. 5 to 10 years old, right? That's when like everybody just started, cell phones were a thing. How old were you when you got your first cell phone?
Oh, geez.
I know I was young, but I think that was because my mom wanted a means to communicate with us.
That's another thing too. Kids are getting cell phones way too fucking early.
Yeah. Nowadays, I'm that's speaking from someone that got a cell phone pretty early, but that was before cell phones were what they were now.
I think you should get a cell phone when you need it. Like
when do you think you need it?
Like when you start to like go to school and like you start doing like after school activities and you need the phone to tell them like, oh, I'm going to be late.
So you think for communication purposes, right? Not for...
If you're just going to school and like that's really it, I feel like you shouldn't have a phone. If you're never like without your parents,
Here's
you
where
don't
I'm
need
gonna
a phone. 'Cause
it's
just gonna fuck your
piggyback
mind
off
up.
that and kind of ask you another question to clarify. Cell phones are fine. Social media, I think, is a different story.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So-
they go hand in hand though.
Nowadays, yes.
Yeah.
When I had my first cell phone, it was a pay-as-you-go phone. My mom bought like this small little white phone that had the 9 dial numbers, a green button and a red button, basically. That was
Yeah.
it. Like it did nothing but receive phone calls and give phone calls.
Mine was something like that too. I remember when I was a kid, I used to play a parachute game on my dad's flip phone.
I remember the old phone games. They were better than half the apps.
Yeah.
You ever play Snake?
Yeah.
Fucking fire. I used to have this shitty little Nokia phone. Nokia. Remember Nokias? Mm-hmm. And I had a case on it that was like a race car looking case. It was like the number 63 and it was green with like red race stripes down the middle. And I was in 2nd grade and I used to keep it in my backpack. My mom gave me that phone. It was my second phone actually. So that's how early I had a phone. No, that was my first phone. Yeah, my first phone. And I was in 2nd grade. That's how young I was.
Oh wow.
When I first had a phone. That was for personal
See,
circumstances.
I don't know the exact age I was. I know it was like one of those Verizon like flip phones that I got.
So
It
you
was my
kind of
first
had
one.
flip phones were a rage at one point. Yeah. They were like the Razor. That was the coolest phone. The Blackberries. They were the coolest phones.
Yeah.
So I had this shitty little Nokia phone. It was a little bit more than a pay-as-you-go phone. Like you could text. Remember when you used to have to like hit the number 9 4 times to get a Z?
Yeah.
Like that's how we used to text. And some kids, like people that are younger, just don't get that.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Like that's where we're showing our age now. Like because we were in that transitional era. Mm-hmm. Now there are people that just grew up in the era that we're in now.
Like the iPhone era.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like we can still consider ourselves, like some of our parents do, in the age group that was transitioned through all this technology.
Yeah.
And so I had this phone, and I remember going home because it's not like nowadays where you just keep your phone in your pocket all the time. You're more attached to it than you should be. So I just kept it in my backpack. And I was probably the only kid in my class that had a phone. Like at 2nd grade, I can't imagine a lot of kids, especially 2nd grade for me was like what? I don't even know, 2005, something like that. Maybe even earlier than that actually. Something around those lines, I think. 2005, I think is probably inaccurate.
That's when you had your phone?
Yeah,
In 2005?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't have one in 2005.
2nd grade.
Yeah,
So
no, I
2nd
didn't.
grade, you're how old? How old are you in 2nd grade?
2005 you were
Yeah.
in 2nd grade? 2005 you'd be 8. Because I know I was 8 years old when my father passed away.
2005.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you might. I was probably around 7 though.
Okay. So that would probably be more like 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, I was in 2nd grade, right? And I get home, and this is my, I was looking for my.
2004, 2005, 3 years after the towers fell.
Why do we have to use that as a reference?
It's just as a benchmark.
Sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, I get home. I'm going through my backpack looking for my phone. I remember what the reason was. I couldn't find it. Couldn't find it anywhere. And this is a moment that my dad had. He said my dad was around at this time. My dad was like, "Oh, we'll call the phone company and see if it's made any calls recently." Brilliant. Never would have thought that. My dad coming up with something like that. Not like my dad. No, I love you, Dad, but sometimes you don't immediately think of like the smartest ideas. So anyway, so we're like, okay, so he calls the phone company and he goes, "Hey, my son lost his phone. Can you tell me the last time he made a phone call? Maybe what it called, right?" Mm-hmm. So she gives us a phone number that it called like 5 minutes before we called. Mm-hmm. So clearly somebody had my phone, was using that.
Yeah.
So they said, "Oh, here's the phone number." So my dad writes the phone number down and he calls the phone number that it called. "Hey, my name is Pete. My son lost his phone. We called the phone company, and it said that that phone dialed you. Any chance you might know where the phone is?" Yeah, we know where it is." "Okay, well, where is it? You tell me, do you have it?" "No, my son has it. He brought it home from school."
Oh.
My dad's like, "Your son's a little..." This is where my dad goes from smart to complete jackass. "Your son's a little bastard, and he took my son's phone." Excuse me? So, I've spoken about my dad a couple times. Love you, Dad. Know you're listening. My dad especially back then, maybe not so much now. My dad actually now is maybe the most accepting person out there. One of the most accepting. Like, he doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
Don't bother him, he don't bother you. Right?
Right.
But back then, nope. Not at all. Not at all. My dad, first of all, let me explain. My dad is not sexist, racist, not any of those things. But he would make a point in describing someone in an offensive way. Without trying to be offensive, that's just the way he was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is a boomer. Boomers, like, during that era, social media, what's right and wrong, it was kind of a blurred line at the time.
Right.
So, the people on the other line, the parents of the kid that took the phone, were like, oh, we're so sorry, whatever. Come pick it up. We'll give it back to you. We'll take it back, we'll take it from our son. We didn't realize. Mm-hmm. Where the fuck do you think your son got a phone? You think you just found it? And like, it doesn't belong to somebody? So anyway, we drive to this kid's house. Dude, it was like 30 minutes away. We went to the same middle school, I don't know how. Or elementary school, I don't know how. So we drive 30 minutes to go find this kid's house. And, first of all, we get in there. Parents were sweet. Family was nice. But I knew which kid it was as soon as I figured out who my dad was talking to, because I knew, the kids in my class.
Yeah.
And I've never talked to this kid a whole heck of a lot, in second grade. And, I get there, my dad starts talking to the parents. I go straight up to the kid. I got a little bit of my father in me, right? I walk up to him and I say, the fuck's your problem, Bean Dip?
Bean Dip.
I'm pretty sure I called him Bean Dip. And he's sitting there. He's sitting there playing with my phone. He's got my phone in his hand.
Oh.
I was like, dude, why'd you steal my phone? He goes, I didn't steal your phone. I found it. I was like, found it in my fucking backpack? And he goes, well, again, second grade. I might not have said it like that.
Right.
Kids, whatever the
Right.
fuck. I got another hilarious second grade story, honestly. Second grade was an interesting year for me. Anyway,
Me
long
too.
story short, he tells me he found it at the buses. Mm-hmm. The bus, like where the bus pickup is. I never rode the fucking bus at that place. We used to do parent pickup. That's what we called it. My mom would pick me up from school. Sometimes my dad, when he was around, he'd pick me up from school. Every once in a while. Who knows? Right. And so that's when I got pissed off. And I was like, I turned and I was like, he gave me the phone back. He said he found it at the buses. He didn't know it was mine. Full of shit. I knew he stole it out of my backpack because I don't put it anywhere else. And I don't go to the bus.
Right.
I go to my dad. I was like, Dad, are you going to be talking to them for a long time? Because, like, I want to go home. Because he's pissing me off. He's lying to me straight to my face.
Right.
Anyway, long story short, my dad ends up becoming great, like, has a great conversation with their parents. We just leave. I get my phone back, whatever the fuck. Huh. Kid was dumb as shit, calling his fucking house. Second grade. No one's smart back then. But yeah, that was my first phone story that I could give you.
I have nothing like that. Wow. No one ever stole my phone. No one ever.
We're gonna come back around to like AI and technology advancements and
Right.
apocalypse and shit. But I do have one more second grade story that I think is hilarious. I gotta tell you.
Okay.
Do you mind?
No.
So-
this is what it's for.
So, I was in second grade, and I don't know if I was always ignorant, blissfully unaware after this, but I was never on the receiving end. I was. I was being bullied in second grade pretty heavily by another kid, and I'm gonna give the first name. His name was, we'll just say Jake, right?
Right.
Not his actual name, but I'm just gonna say Jake, just cause. So I was being bullied by a kid named Jake, right?
Mr. Wayback.
Not Mr. Wayback. Me and Mr. Wayback, we go way back.
They go
Way back.
Way
But anyway,
back.
and parent pickup, that's what they called it when I was in elementary school. And my dad happened to be the one picking me up that day. And I don't know if the kid was just ragging on me hard. I think I was being picked on at the playground during recess or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. And I remember when my dad picked me up, I was super upset and I actually started crying. Second grade, I was crying. My dad's like, what the First of all, my dad said, be a man, stop fucking crying, you look like an idiot. That's one of the first things he said, probably.
Right.
It was something. My dad's not actually. My dad was probably like, what's wrong? But like, shaping up. And I was like, oh, this kid has been picking on me. And as soon as I said that, I didn't even get out like what he did, nothing like that. My dad fucking snapped. The fuck's his name? Where is that little bastard, huh? You show me where he's at. And I was like, what? What do you mean? What? I got scared. Because my dad, especially back then, he's a loose cannon.
Right.
No sense of morality, what's legal, nothing. The guy had no idea. I tell him the kid's name. He walks right past me, past like where the kids are allowed to go and where you have to sign in to get into the school. Teachers yell at him, security, school cop, can't go in there, sir, where you going?
You know
Didn't
what that
care.
reminds me of?
What?
In New Girl, there's a part where there's like a little girl sitting on the desk, and she just goes to Smith, "A white man broke in today," and then Smith just goes, "Oh, what? White man? Well, what did security do about it?" And then she goes, "Nothing." And then he goes, "Typical."
Here's the thing. They were trying to get him to stop, but no one was going to physically, like, tackle him or nothing. Mm-hmm. And my dad was a man on a mission at that point. He was making a beeline. I never told him what classroom I was in.
No.
No fucking clue. He just knew exactly where to go. So he just walks into this classroom. A couple things that I'll get into before I get into the next part of the story is, in second grade, I had a teacher with a very thick Jamaican accent, right? Sweetheart of a woman. Really was. I think that she had a very thick accent, and I couldn't understand her sometimes. I was a kid. I was ignorant.
Jamaican me crazy.
Like, no, I mean thick. So I couldn't understand her a lot of times, so I got in trouble a couple times because she thought I was being rude when I genuinely couldn't understand her and stuff like that. And my mom had some conversations. There's a lot of back and forth with my teacher. So when my dad came in
Oh, no.
to the room,
Oh, no.
right? Oh. No, nothing terrible. He didn't,
okay.
what was her name? Miss Malcolm. My dad smashes open this door, basically, and the kid's still in there because he rode one of the later buses. Mm-hmm. Which one of you bastards is Jacob? Miss Malcolm. Sir, you can't be in here, blah, 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 thick accent, whatever. Relax, Malcolm, I got this. Not Miss Malcolm, not whatever her name was. Relax, Malcolm, I got this. Leave me, I'm taking care of something because you can't do your fucking job.
Oh my God.
That's what he says, because my dad had heard some stories about her, like, blaming me for things because I don't understand. She used to yell at me because, when I was younger, there was a really bad storm one day. We had a tornado drill. Like, it was a really bad storm in Florida. And she yelled at me because I was praying, because I was scared. And my mom, like, instilled prayer when I was she yelled at me. She goes, we don't practice that here. It's not a Catholic school. I was like, yeah, but it's a public school. We could all do whatever we want.
Huh.
Anyway, she was a sweet woman, though. Like, it's just misunderstandings.
Right.
So anyway, take it easy, Malcolm. I'm here because you can't do your fucking job. Which one of you little bricks is Jacob? And then you see, like, I said Jacob. That's not his actual name. He goes, raises his hand. And my dad walks up to his desk and, like, bends down. My dad at this point is in his early 40s.
Right.
Grown fucking man. To a second grade kid. Listen to me, you little prick. You ever say another fucking word to my son, look at my son, touch my son, think of my son ever again, I'm going to kick your ass. And I'm going to kick your father's ass, and I'm going to kick his father's ass, and I'm going to kick your uncle's ass, and I'm going to do it all in front of you. So you never forget what I look like, and you never forget my son. And you leave that little kid, you leave my son alone, you little fuck. That's what you, like, dude, second fucking grade. And at this point,
fucking tell him.
At this point, when I was sitting there, I'm like, I'm so far over me getting bullied. Like, I did not fucking care. I was like, he's a fucking lunatic. Second grade, and I knew this was wrong.
Fucking tell him.
My dad's 40. I knew this was wrong.
Hey, someone's got to tell him.
I'm like, dude, like that? You're telling me you're going to beat the shit out of his father. I'll tell you what, though. Kid never bothered me again.
I mean, come on.
I mean, my dad back then, like, I don't know what this other kid's father looked like. But my dad back then put him up against Brock Lesnar. My dad was fucking wild. Insane. Dad, you got a big head. I don't mean to make it bigger. But back then, you were on some shit. He was just, like, off the fucking rails. So, that's my story. Second grade, getting bullied. My dad even, back to the other story.
Love.
Huh?
That's fucking love.
Yeah, but it's not. It's like Chris DiStefano's dad. You ever hear the stories of Chris DiStefano?
Yeah.
I resonate with that so deeply. It's always right intention, wrong move. Like he always says. And that's my fucking father.
Yeah.
He's always, for the most part, had the right intention and has just never gone the right way about it.
See, also
For instance, when we left the house, my phone got stolen. Had a great relationship with the parents. It was like, well, not a great relationship, but he had a great conversation with the parents. And I'm pretty sure on the way out, he said that he called their son a little bastard. It's like, Dad, what are you doing? I gotta see this kid tomorrow at school.
Gotta know.
My dad is, he, at some point, my father I would like to have on this show. I've asked him, I was like, yeah, what do you think? I don't think that what he'll portray on camera will ever quite be what my father really is. Especially now, he's definitely calmed down in his old age. That's right, Dad. You're a fucking geezer. You ain't got it in you no more. My dad's in his early 60s. Like, my dad's old. Oh, you're getting there. You know what I mean? He went gray so early.
Silver Fox.
White Fox. White Fox.
Oh, yeah.
I used to call my dad Santa Claus.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. See, all I have, stories about when I was a kid is me just, hitting my head off of the support beam at, a school,
You have bad injuries from your childhood?
No, just, because I very, I think it was pre-K. I went to a school that literally doesn't exist anymore. Ann Street.
Oh,
It doesn't exist anymore.
That was what's now like the little church office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like we were singing nursery rhymes for some reason. And
Nursery rhymes are creepy.
There's a home video of it's me and my sister. We're sitting together, and I'm right next to a support beam, a lot like this one right off camera right here. And I'm just smacking my head off of the support beam.
Oh, on purpose.
Yes.
This isn't one like you just walked into.
Because I don't want to be there. I'm just smacking.
Talking
my head.
about wearing your
If
emotions.
if I can find the video, I'll find it and we can put it right here. If not, then we didn't. But
That's funny as hell.
I'm just smacking my head off of.
That's fucking. How old were you?
Pre-K. So it
So
was
old, so young, so 4 or 5.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
And then when I was graduating from pre-K, I ran down the aisle. Because when you graduate, you walk down the aisle and everything. Yeah. I ran down the aisle with my red Converse sneakers. I refused to wear dress sneakers. Dress shoes, not dress sneakers. But because I wanted to be the Flash.
Yeah, but that's fire.
Yeah.
Because
Because I watched Daddy Daycare and I was like...
Daddy Daycare is a great movie.
And the one character who dresses as the Flash, I was like, that's me.
Yeah.
It's like, that's me. I'm the Flash.
That was a big childhood movie
the
of mine.
Flash.
Loved Daddy Daycare.
Yeah.
I mean, a kindergarten story that I have. When I moved from... I don't want to say it was a culture shock, but when I moved from New York to Florida, that's when I started kindergarten.
Right.
And my mom had come to the school to volunteer to help with something that the school was having, some sort of a fundraiser event or whatever the fuck. And I was being a little shit.
Little shitty shit.
I was being a little shit.
Little shitty shit.
I was being a little bitch.
Little shitty shit.
Little bitch.
Little shitty shit.
Little shitty shit.
Little shitty shit.
And I said something smart to my mom in kindergarten. I've always had a fucking mouth. My mom will tell you. Mariah, my sister, was throughout the majority of life so easy. So fucking easy. I was a bastard, right? And I got my mouth from my father, for the most part, which is a damn shame. Love you, Dad. But I had a fucking mouth on me. And I've always been... Whatever is in there is coming out.
Well, you
know
got
what
a
I mean?
mouth on you. That's why you got a podcast.
Oh, I mean, it kind of comes... Now I'm trying to channel it and use it for, entertainment.
Right.
Not that I'm entertained. Anyway. So I said something smart to my mom, and I don't think I cursed or anything like that, but I said something with an attitude. And this girl, I think her name was Nancy, another really nice girl in my class, like a really sweet little black girl, turns around with a shocked look on her face. My mom's standing next to her. Oh, your mama's gonna give you a whooping, and you ain't ever gonna forget it. She turns around and says, and I didn't know what whooping meant. Like, that was a term that my mom would kick. My mom didn't really kick my ass. Like, she wasn't much of a hitter.
Right.
But, like, I think she was. I'll tell you that. But I think my mom in that moment kind of just thought that little girl was adorable. And I think she might have actually saved me from getting a whooping by saying that.
Yeah.
I had an interesting, my trajectory through school was, my mom being there, in all the right ways, and then my dad being there for all the, doing all the wrong ways to do the right thing. You know what I mean?
With the right intention.
Shout out to the kid that stole my phone. I don't remember your name. You're definitely not watching. I haven't seen you since second grade, bud. Fuck you, you fucking thief.
Yeah, how's your phone now?
Yeah, how's your phone now? You probably have a regular phone now. Comes full circle, asshole. Shout out to the kid that bullied me in second grade. I genuinely hope life is good for you. We were in school all the way until 8th grade together.
Oh.
Never had an issue with him after that because my dad told me he would kick his fucking father's ass.
Because my dad scared the shit out of him.
Because my dad, I think, had some of the mob left in him at that point.
Well, you gotta. You got it for kids.
I'll tell you a story about my father, but I'm going to make it off camera because I don't want any legal things to happen to him because that's still probably an open
There's
case.
statute of limitations.
Yeah! Not in this regard. Trust me, I'll tell you. We're at an hour now, so I don't want to go crazy long, but I want to kind of circle back to where we started with the whole apocalyptic type scenario, like taking over the world type scenario. I think we've had a quick conversation in the past about, like, you believe in aliens. You think they're out there.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think it's ignorant to not believe aliens.
I believe in aliens.
Yeah.
I think that the size of the universe...
yeah.
It's like, how could we be the only things out there? Sure, we don't have any way to prove it, and maybe we don't even have any way...
unless we're, like, an experiment that the aliens just, like, put
in a
here.
little marble.
Yeah.
My question to follow that is going to be, so you believe in aliens, and I think believing in aliens is step one. Do you think that they've been to this planet?
Yeah.
I actually do.
Absolutely.
I really do think this way.
Absolutely. I think the government knows more than they let on, and it's for, obviously, for reasons, but...
there have been just an astronomical amount of UFO sightings, alien encounters that people somehow eventually remember and shit like that. And I saw a conspiracy theory online that said, like, by 2030, so within the next 7 years, there's going to be, like, a full-blown alien invasion. And you remember how during COVID, the government just kind of said, fuck it, we're going to tell you what's going on in that Area 51. They released a bunch of UFO footage, basically, like, this shit's real, guys, just so you know. And, like, for some reason, nobody cared because it was COVID.
Yeah. And they were like, no, we're dealing with COVID right now.
They were like,
fuck.
Fuck that, but, like, this guy's sneezing. Which one are we more afraid of right now? You know what I mean? Get your ass waxed, get your ass vaxxed. That's all we care about in the moment. But they didn't give a fuck that intergalactic life forms were probing asses.
Right.
Right? Not that was confirmed, but, like, Area 51 is a thing, and they've been keeping all that kind of shit secret for a long time. It's like, even before that, when Area 51 was, like, a thing, like, it was publicly understood that that's a place, that's a thing. There's a fucking scientific lab, basically, there.
Right.
We've kind of all known, but when you get that confirmation, it's like, okay, whoa. So, I forgive me because I didn't save these links, but I've seen over the past week a couple more UFO sightings and stuff like that. And then Victoria and I, not terribly long ago, watched a movie that was based on a true story. And it was called The Third Kind. Something like that, I think. And it was like a overly dramatic, like over-the-top version of a story of an alien experience that happened in Alaska.
Alaska.
So, do you think you've ever been abducted by aliens?
No, I don't.
You never woke up and your fucking ass hurt?
No.
No?
Not that I can say.
But not from aliens. In another way, maybe.
Well, no, I don't even think in another way. I've never woken up with my ass hurting.
Nor have I. one would argue that we are maybe not in the... We're not... For instance, I don't think you're going to see much alien sightings in, like, New York. Or, like, L.A. or Miami or Chicago.
No,
you're not going to see them in cities.
It's probably mostly...
I wouldn't even say rural,
No,
though.
give me a fucking chance to say rural. Rural?
Yeah, that's good.
Rural?
Good for you.
Rural?
You fucking retard. I'm sorry. Whoa. That was my father. My father was coming out. You know, my father from the early 2000s. I don't know what to tell you. Listen, I'm sorry. Please forgive me for that one. Anyway.
It's okay. They say it on your mom's house all the time.
Listen. Okay.
It's
Anyway.
a podcast. I'm not saying your mom's house.
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
What was I saying more?
You were calling me a retard.
Before that. I was about to say something. I forget what the fuck it was because I got so fucked up. Damn it. It's probably involving aliens.
It was rural.
I would say it's not really... it's
Rural.
not so much a rural thing as much... I mean, it is, but it's more like Midwest.
That's like the worst word, rural.
The most alien sightings are either rural or they're like
Rural.
in flat, wide open land like Kansas.
Right.
And like just like where most... Like a lot of the... Like in the Midwest.
Right.
And... Because, you
Like
know,
flatlands.
small towns... Yeah, flatlands. Small towns, small populations.
Small population.
Population. Not a whole lot of street lights and shit like that. Back roads, you know. Like, I always talk about Curious George. Not Curious George. The fuck? Courage the Cowardly Dog. Like,
Right.
like the landscape
that
that
area?
like that type
Like
of
flatlands,
shit.
yeah.
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 And, you know, recently there have been people that have said, oh, I've seen this and I've seen that. How do you think... First of all, what do you think aliens look like? The ones that you think have come here.
I think they're like the typical grays you see.
Yeah? You think so?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I believe in any of the physical appearance theories. I think I would have to see them.
Yeah.
I don't want to say they look like humans, because I don't necessarily believe that to be true either.
I feel like there's a reason why, like, the stereotypical, like, gray is, like, that's...
Well,
the
that's
alien.
what people have described in the past.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, you ever see the movie Independence Day? Another Will Smith
No, I
movie?
have not.
Dude, watch that.
Yeah.
Fucking phenomenal. That's your homework for this week. I swear to God, I'm giving you homework. If you don't fucking
I
do
can
it,
give
you're
you
getting-
homework, too.
Listen
Watch
to
the
me.
fucking Last of Us show.
Yeah, but guess who's the boss here? Okay? I'll fire you.
Why am I... I'm not...
You're not an employee.
I'm not getting paid.
You will. Maybe, right?
Yeah.
Hey, guys, follow the show. Anyway, but, like, you know, I'll replace you with Mike.
You could.
I won't, though. I'm kidding. I'm fucking with you, bro. I'm kidding. Anyway, no, in all sincerity. It's
Let
not
us
actual
know
homework.
if you want to replace me with Mike.
No.
No, just kidding.
Anyway, let us know if you want Mike back on, though.
Yeah, no, you definitely
I
do.
want Mike back on.
I want Mike
I know
back
a lot
on
of people
too.
that have watched that want Mike
Yeah.
back on. Mike,
You're coming back.
come back on the show.
You're coming
you know?
back.
Get on. Get him on over here.
You're coming back.
Next time we have Mike is going to be another, like, food related thing, because, like, that's where the kid just, like,
Yeah.
his opinions are wild.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think that, not that I don't believe, like I said, I don't really believe in most of the physical appearance theories, but the one that makes the most sense, just based off the fact that it has been agreed upon on several encounter stories, is the typical grays with the, like, skinny skinny physique and whatnot. So I'm gonna follow that up with another apocalypse thing, because I think that the world is the alien apocalypse type scenario. That's kind of been lingering for hundreds of years, and it's like you're just wondering when they're gonna, if all these theories are true, you're just kind of like, all right, well, we don't know when they're gonna come, so how likely is it during this life period or that life period, whatever the fuck. So, like, that probability of that happening has really not changed. It hasn't really increased necessarily. I think that people are just more aware of it now because the stories get posted, social media, Google's, like, all that kind of stuff. You can learn more about it and hear more stories that have happened. And, you know, throughout time, there's going to be more cases of it.
Right.
When we were speaking about COVID, another theory was not necessarily zombie apocalypse, but a zombie apocalypse.
Right.
Because, you know, there are conspiracy theorists, and I keep saying that, they're like, you get the vaccine in 10 years, you're going to be like the Walking Dead. Look, opinions about the vaccine aside, because
It's over and done with.
my opinions on the vaccine are simply just I don't believe that anybody should mandate anything when it comes to that. I think it should be a choice and people should respect each other's decisions. However, the whole vaccine thing and for many things, Planet of the Apes, for instance, is another apocalyptic scenario that people are thinking is going to come true sometime soon because of
Last of Us?
Harambe. The Last of Us type of scenario, The Walking Dead, that's a little more far-fetched, but World War Z is probably really... You ever see World War Z?
No.
Dude, these are great movies. You got to get in your apocalypse. Here are the movies I want you to watch within the next few months.
You know what? I've never seen Independence Day. You've never seen Star Wars.
I'm not...
Tit for tat.
Fair. Shout out. Star Wars.
Shout out Star Wars.
So here's the thing. At some point... And look, I'll watch Star Wars for you. I will. I genuinely will. If I don't like the first one, I won't continue.
They're a fun time.
I'll tell you that, though.
They are a fun time.
So here's the thing. At some point within the next few months, years, whatever, I want you to watch Independence Day. Mm-hmm. I want you to watch iRobot.
Okay.
I want you to watch what the fuck I just said before. What did I say? I was like, did you watch it? Did you ever see that movie? World War Z.
World War Z.
And then I would like you to watch 7 Pounds just because I think you'll love that movie.
Right.
It has nothing to do with apocalypses, though.
You see, I'd love for you to watch Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That's a good.
I will.
That's a
I've
good
been
movie
wanting.
to watch
I've been
with
meaning
your
to.
significant other. You'll cry together, and it's just a good. It's a.
It takes a lot to get me to cry now.
It's a good cry.
Thursday night was the first time I've cried in a long time.
Huh. Hell yeah! Well, it's good to cry.
Yeah,
it is good to cry.
Depends on the scenario.
No, either way, crying is good. Yeah. There's a reason it happens. You know?
Anyway.
So, but it's not healthy to bottle it up.
No, I agree. It's not,
Yeah.
Yeah, those movies I think you'll like all of them though. I'm not just suggesting them. I think based on what you do
I
like.
think if you do watch Star Wars, watch A New Hope first because the prequels are pretty boring except for
My
Revenge of the
fly's
Sith.
been down this whole time.
It's my fly.
Gonna get that adjusted.
My fly's not down.
I took a piss before this. Must not have, Anyway. So when it comes from the apocalypse scenarios that we've touched on, we didn't really the whole zombified state, mad cow disease, whatever, chronic waste disease things that.
I already know the thumbnail for this. One of us is going to be a robot. One of us is going to be an alien.
Can't really do that.
I think that's a good idea.
I'll probably just put us and then put aliens and shit like that in the background. I don't know. But what scenario? I have my answer. Of the three, of the AI, the alien, and the zombie-like, scenario, do you think we're the closest to?
AI, 100%.
Completely agree, AI.
Yeah.
I'll follow it up by asking you, we may be closest to AI right now. Mm-hmm. But what do you think if inevitably there is an apocalypse, what do you think it actually will be?
I think it would be climate.
Okay, that's probably scientifically
Yeah.
the most accurate. Creatively, I'm going aliens.
Yeah.
Because I think from a climate perspective, history kind of repeats itself from a climate perspective. So even if we do wipe ourselves out, the Earth is going to come back around at some point anyway.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that before the sun explodes and turns into a fucking black hole, I'm going to go alien. Because I think eventually they're just going to be like, these guys suck. Let's just take that shit.
It's a good water planet. Why don't we just take that one?
Yeah. Do you think that alien life is kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy?
I hope so.
Guardians
of the Galaxy is fun. I want to see the third one.
It came out, right?
Yeah,
I want to go see it. I still haven't seen the new Black Panther.
Do you want to see it tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow?
I'll let you know. I think I'm going to the in-laws.
Okay.
That's what I usually do on Sundays.
Okay.
But I would like to see it. I do very much enjoy Guardians
I've heard
of
it
the
was
Galaxy.
a 10
I haven't
10.
seen any of the Marvel movies since the last Doctor Strange.
Have you seen the Guardians movies?
No. Well, really? No, yeah. No, I've seen the Guardians movies, 1 and 2, Volume 1 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about anything that's come out past... past Doctor Strange, when it was him and Scarlet.
No, I hope aliens are like Guardians of the Galaxy because they're fun,
I just like how diverse. Like it's awesome.
Yeah.
Big Guardians guy. Victoria didn't really like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really? It's so much
During
fun.
COVID, like we had a lot of time on our hands.
Right, of course.
Did you get
I didn't get off, no. It wasn't any different for me.
trash?
Yeah.
A
little bit.
I
Don't-
did briefly,
don't feel welcome.
very briefly. Anyway, we had a lot of time on our hands for about a month, and within a month span, I got Victoria hooked on Marvel, and we
Yeah.
just watched the entire, except for Captain Marvel. I'm just not a fan. So
I'm
we
not
watched
interested.
all the MCU
I gotta be
timeline
honest though.
in
like,
order too. We watched it in order, like
As far as
cinematic
like
order.
the MCU goes, it's been harder and harder for me to get into it.
Since Endgame,
Yeah. I mean,
naturally,
because like I'm a big Spider-Man guy.
their sales are slightly down.
Well, yeah.
Yo, when Spider-Man comes out, we'll be going.
Of
That's
course.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
When is the next Spider-Man coming out?
Years.
No.
Years.
The last one came out a year and a half ago almost.
Years.
Fuck that.
Haven't even filmed it.
Really?
Yeah, no. Years.
That's trash.
Yeah, years.
It needs to come out now.
Yeah, no. No, years.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck my ain.
It's alright. We got Guardians.
Guardians is cool, but it's
heard it
not
was-
Spider-Man.
Heard it was a 10 out of 10, though.
We gotta see it.
Yeah.
We gotta see it. Hopefully
Yeah.
sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap this up,
Okay.
but I don't want to wrap it up without mentioning a few people that are near and dear to us.
Okay.
Shout out OJ.
Shout out OJ Simpson.
Shout out OJ.
Near and dear.
Come on the show. I've been saying it for a long time. I'm sure that out of the 14 episodes we've mentioned you at least 12 times, right?
Let's go golfing together.
Let's go golfing. You're a golfer.
Yeah.
You're a golfer.
You're
Shout
a
out Kanye.
golfer.
Shout out Kanye. Can't go an episode without mentioning you, buddy. Get your head right, Shout out Gabe's dick.
Shout out Gabe's Dick.
Can't forget about that.
Can't forget.
Another two that we've mentioned a handful of times. Will Smith,
Right, of course.
Harry Styles,
Right.
Dana White,
Dana White. Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor. We haven't mentioned him a lot, but
Well, the whiskey today.
Colin, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. You didn't know that?
No.
Damn, really?
Damn. Yeah, I know.
You're a pal and a confidant. Yeah, I never really watched the Golden Girls. All right, top 3 white people sitcoms. Go.
Oh, damn.
Rapid fire.
Number 1, New Girl. Number 2,
Not Always Sunny.
Always Sunny. Always Sunny's number 2. I love
Really?
New
Like
Girl.
New Girl more? Okay.
I love New Girl.
All right.
I gave you cookie, got you cookie. Gave you cookie, got you cookie, Schmidt.
I don't know what's happening with that. So.
And then the number 3, How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother? None of those are on my top 3.
Really?
I don't really watch white people sitcoms.
No.
I would say The Office. 1.
Really? Number 1?
Just because I don't really watch any of them enough to give a fuck.
You would like New Girl. You would. You would. Gave you cookie, got
Office
you cookie.
1. What the fuck would I even... I don't
I've
even know if I
decided
know
to-
another 2.
I've decided
Friends
to-
2,
I've
I
decided
guess.
to give up on women and start growing
Can
tomatoes.
I consider George Lopez?
Yeah.
All right,
Sure.
George Lopez 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else was... What other Nick at Night shows were there?
Full House.
No, right. I don't know. Dude, you remember waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and that was just... You just see George Lopez and just
Like, no, like you're just in bed. Just in bed, just like... What the fuck?
It's like, am I
No,
on a
like,
trip?
no, you be the George Lopez theme. I'll be me waking up.
Doom 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 doom.
Oh, it's George Lopez.
Doom 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 doom. Doom 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 doom. Guy has a massive cranium. Massive. massive.
Good. It's good for TV. It's good for TV.
And with that,
Just like George Clooney, big head, small body.
George Clooney, George Lopez, George Costanza, George Michael. What other Georges? Curious George.
Curious George, mentioned it before.
And the Whiskey Talks.
In the whiskey talk.
How's your brother, sister, uncle, cousin?
How you doing?